Attention, salute, pledge.
I pledge allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all.
You may be seated. We're going to do roll call.
Neil Young,
Here.
Jerry Barnett,
Here.
Daniel Beatty,
Here.
Joshua Wilbur,
Here.
Donald Peake,
Here.
All right. We're going to move down to item number 4, general city council comments. Any comments from the council? All right, we have no comments at this time. We'll move down to item number 5, the city manager report. Julie?
Thank you, Mayor and Council. First, I'd like to mention the new hires we've had since our last meeting. We have Hannah Crosswhite, library assistant, Elijah Dodson, hydro truck driver, Kelsey Davis, police officer, start is pending, and Luis Flores, also pending, civil infrastructure inspector. For public project updates, the police station is moving along on schedule. We do have bids that will be open on April 22nd for a communications tower, and that budget is hopefully covered in the contingencies on that project. Fire station number 1, testing is still underway on the soils at the project site. We do expect remediation to begin soon, and that will also be paid from allowances and contingencies. 121st Street Bridge utility relocations are in process. Once we have that schedule finalized, the project will go to bidding and then construction. We anticipate the construction time to be 4 to 5 months. 257 East Avenue Midway Road project. We have also water line breaks that were repaired on the water 4 system. The contractor has finally remobilized, and that project should be completed in late May or early June at the latest. The water treatment plant dredging project is substantially complete. They just have a bit of construction debris to clean up, and then that project will be accepted hopefully at the next council meeting. Skyview Water Tower project, I was notified that the April 1st deadline was missed due to freezing temperatures in March. We expect that to be completed in about 2 weeks. They're just putting the painting final touches on and installing the mixing system. The wastewater plant improvement project, we are still working with DEQ to update the construction schedule. We expect that to be finalized in August or September. We could receive fines from ODQ from that delay, but they will be offset by penalties that the contractor will be required to pay for missing the deadline. We met with the Oklahoma Turnpike, the ODOT a few days ago and discussed the Turnpike project. That's advancing pretty quickly. That's at near 101st and Oak Grove Road. There will be a connecting road to State Highway 51 that we just on to Walmart. And we anticipate that project will be in letting for bids in August. It's moving up quite a bit faster than we expected. Kind of in line with that, we also discussed the traffic signal on State Highway 51 and 116th Street near RCP. And they informed me that the developer does not intend to allow that signal to be activated until the Turnpike interchange connecting road is activated. However, we do have a police station that could be coming online before that construction project is finished. And if that's the case, they will consider activating this signal earlier in conjunction with the police station opening. The final thing I want to mention is the trash off that's scheduled for April 18th at the sports complex. We've received a lot of public comments about that, and we are planning to delay the actual trash off until a later date, and we can get that scheduled on a more appropriate date. Apparently some plans changed with the sports league, and it's now causing a conflict. We will still have the litter cleanup day on April 18th. So if you're interested in helping clean up our city, please contact City Hall and we'll get you on the list for assisting with that. And that's all I have.
Thank you, Julie. We'll move down to item number 6.
I just want to say thank you, Julie, for considerations on that. for the sports complex. That means a lot to the community on that. Being in the middle of the league and all the volunteers that do spend their time on that, that does mean a lot to the sports community.
Now we'll move on to item number 6, proclamation Communicators Week. You want me to read it or do you want to read it? Okay. All right, we have proclamation. Whereas emergencies can occur at any time that require police, fire, and emergency medical services, and whereas when an emergency occurs, the prompt response of police officers, firefighters, and paramedics is critical to the protection of the life and preservation of property, and whereas the safety of our police officers, firefighters, and paramedics is dependent upon the quality and accuracy of information obtained from citizens who telephone the Coweta Emergency Communications Center, and whereas the public safety telecommunicators are the first and most critical contact our citizens have with emergency services, and whereas public safety telecommunicators are the single vital link for our police officers, firefighters, and paramedics by monitoring their activities by radio, providing them information, and ensuring their safety, and whereas the public safety telecommunicators of the Coweta's Emergency Communications Center have contributed sustainably to the apprehension of criminals, suppression of fires, and treatment of patients, and whereas each dispatcher has exhibited compassion, understanding, and professionalism during the performance of their jobs in the past year. Whereas the Council has designated the week beginning April 12, 2026 as National Public Safety Telecommunicators Week and has authorized and requested the Mayor to issue a proclamation in observance of this week. Therefore, I, Naomi Hogue, Mayor of Coweta, Oklahoma, do hereby proclaim the week of April 12, 2026 as National Public Safety Telecommunicators Week. I urge all citizens of Coweta to observe this week with appropriate programs, ceremonies, activities, appreciation for these outstanding individuals. And I have to sign it. So. Thank you very much for all your Has been signed, Chief. All right, we have item number 2, presentation to officers for the Life Saving Award. Chief Bell.
Mayor, council members. Mayor, council members, is this going to work? Hello? Can you hear me? Yep. There we go. Mayor, council members, thank you very much for allowing me to come up here and talk to you tonight. There are very few reasons that a chief gets to get up here and be happy about why he's up here. Usually I'm asking for money, but this time I'm actually going to recognize a few of our officers that saved somebody's life here in Coweta, and I would appreciate if Deputy Lawrence and Officer Rice would come up here for a moment. Stand right here and face that way if you would. Just to let you know, on January 30th at approximately 12:30 hours, Officer Rice, being on patrol that day, he pulled into the QT parking lot and observed a vehicle that was parked unusual in the parking space. When he got out of the vehicle, he realized that the vehicle was running, the engine was running at a little bit of high speed, looked at the driver and observed right away that the driver was in a medical type emergency. Officer Rice kicked into gear, he opened up the door, he was able to remove the individual from the car and put it in park because the vehicle was still in drive and his foot was on the gas. He was just up against the other vehicle that was next to him because he was at a diagonal. Officer Rice just went into emergency mode again, and he called for EMS to come out there to the scene because he realized this gentleman was unconscious. He ends up starting to perform medical procedures on him. He gives him a shot of Narcan, realizing it may be a drug emergency. The individual comes awake, becomes combative, then goes back out again. Deputy Lawrence, the Wagner County Sheriff's Department, happened to be at one of the pumps and observed this taking place, looked over and saw Rice was having a little bit of an issue, ran over and said, "Hey, I've got another Narcan that we can use." So he administered the second Narcan. The individual came awake. At that time, EMS also arrived on scene. And because of the heroic activity that these two gentlemen here did, this gentleman is with us today. He was able to be transported to the hospital and he's still alive today thanks to the actions of these two officers. So I'm going to issue them a life-saving award right now. It is so great to be a chief right now in the city of Coweta, I can tell you that. The next one I want to recognize is our new code enforcement officer, Officer Jeff Lawmaster. If you would, sir, come on up here. I am pleased to formally commend you on your exemplary actions and outstanding service to the citizens of Coweta. On 13 February 2026, you became aware of a citizen resident who had endured significant medical hardship for over 2 months, including a stroke and substantial house fire during his recovery. During this extraordinary difficult time, the citizen reached out for assistance with substantial accumulation of debris on his property. Without hesitation, you stepped forward. You contacted Waste Management on your own on the citizen's behalf and requested the removal of this debris. Through your initiative and persistence, the company arrived within days, cleared the property at no cost to the resident. Your actions reflect compassion, professionalism, and deep commitment to the well-being of our community. You exemplify the standard of service we strive to uphold within the department and throughout our city. Your efforts bring great credit to yourself, the Coweta Police Department, and the city of Coweta. Thank you, sir, for your... Thank you.
Thank you all. We'll move down to item number 7, the consent items. I make a motion to approve.
A second.
Naomi Hope,
Yes.
Jeremy Barnett,
Yes.
Daniel Beatty,
Yes.
Joshua Wilbur,
Yes.
Donald Feet,
Yes.
Item number 8, we have no items to consent. We'll move down to item number 9, administration. Okay. All right, item number 1 under 9 is public hearing for ZZ 6-01 rezoning property from AG to RS3 located at 301 Street South, 301 Street East at 141st Street. A public hearing to receive public comments on CC 2601. A request by property owner Jessica Morris to change the zoning on the described property from agricultural to residential family RS3, consisting of approximately 1.07 acres located in the south or S-2 southeast-4 of Section 7, Township 17 North, Range 16 East of the Indian Base Meridian, County, State of Oklahoma, according to the United States Government Survey, therefore more particularly described as follows, to wit, beginning at a point of 1241.25 feet east and 208.75 feet north of the southwest corner of southeast 4 of section, thence north 223.25 feet, thence east 208.75 feet, thence south 223.25 feet, thence west 208.75 feet to the point of beginning. Ms. Jessica.
Sorry, you had to read all that. Can you hear me?
It's all right.
All right. As it says, this is a request from Jessica Morris, the property owner, to rezone a property from ag to RS3, single-family residential. This is to build 3 houses on the property. Staff has evaluated the property. It does comply with our future land use map and our comprehensive plan. Our planning commission has recommended approval, and our staff has recommended approval, and I can answer any questions.
I just want to make note that this is in a residential area at this
Yes,
moment.
it is surrounded by agriculture and single-family zoning.
And I know on that road, there is a home in the beginning, a trailer house. is on
Yes, the
property.
trailer house will be demolished and then replaced with the single-family homes.
And then next to the house, and then there's 2 other houses.
Yes.
And then on the back side, there's agriculture.
Yes.
Because it's a larger farmhouse area. Okay. Any questions from the council? Okay.
I understand Ms. Morris was actually on the planning commission. I guess my question is, was she able to vote on this or anything like that?
She wasn't even at the meeting that night,
Okay. That'd be my one.
but no, she wouldn't have been able to vote. Okay.
Any other questions from the council? Okay. I make a motion to approve.
This is the public hearing.
Sorry. Public hearing. All right, at this point, we'll open up for public comments. Any comments on this property? Do we have to make a motion? A motion to open the public hearing.
Second.
Naomi Hope,
Yes.
Jeremy Barnett,
Yes.
Daniel Beatty,
Yes.
Joshua Wilbur,
Yes.
Donald Meade,
Yes.
We are now at public comment for the rezoning of this property. If you would like to come forward and speak on this item, please feel free at this time. Okay. All right. No comments from this item. I don't care you're messing up that right now. This item, so. All right, we're going to close the public hearing. Make the public hearing?
Second.
Naomi Hope,
Yes.
Jeremy Barnett,
Yes.
Daniel Beatty,
Yes.
Joshua Wilbur,
Yes.
Donald Meade,
Yes.
All right, we'll move down to item number 2, ordinance 914 CZ 2026-01, rezoning property from AG to RS3 located on 301st Street East at 141st Street. Discuss and consider possible action to approve the conditions or deny the request for CZ 26-01. The request from the property owner, Jessica Moore, change the zoning as on described property from agriculture AG to residential single-family RS3, consisting of approximately 1.07 acres located in the Southeast 4, Section 7, Township 17 North, Range 16 East of the Indian Base and Meridian, Coweta County, Wagner County, State of Oklahoma, according to the United States Government Survey. Therefore, more particularly described as follows, to wit, beginning at a point of 1241.25 feet east and 208.75 feet north at the southwest corner of southeast 4 of section, thence north 223.25 feet, thence east 208.75 feet, thence south 223.25 feet, thence west 208.75 feet to the point of beginning. Ms. Jessica?
It's the same property, so we recommend approval.
Any questions from the council? I make a motion to approve.
Naomi Hope,
Yes.
Jeremy Barnett,
Yes.
Daniel Beatty,
Yes.
Joshua Wilbur,
Yes.
Donald Meade,
Yes.
We'll move down to item number 3, emergency street repairs to the 111th Street Bridge between 278th East Avenue and 280th East Avenue. at a cost not to exceed $74,900, discussing consider approval on the reconstruction of the 111th Street Bridge between 278 East Avenue and 280th East Avenue for a cost not to exceed $74,900 to be paid from the Capital Improvements Fund, account 12-5411.015. Mr. Edgar.
Good evening, council members, Mayor. This was a call that we had. We had 2 complaints about what was possibly going to be a pothole quick fix repair. However, upon inspection, I did realize and went under the culvert that culvert is actually failing. It's just holding by rebar right now at the moment. So we did observe a couple of vehicles pass by there, and pothole fix was not going to cut it. So we did move on to get 3 bids to fix it the proper way. Upon the recommendation of our engineer, he did give us the specs, and we did move it forward to the 3 parties that were interested in bidding this out. This was an emergency. We barely found out last week, so we had to move on it quick. Hence, this road is heavily used on 111 due to construction, and truck routes are going this way after 121st Bridge was closed down, so I figure that kind of contributed to the deterioration of this. So I do want to ask for this to get approved so that we can move quickly. Should it pass, we would have to seek alternative routes for trucking. So we'll put that out if all goes well.
So my question for you is, how long is it going to take? When can you start?
We can start this week, possibly once we get well coordinated, probably mobilize Wednesday the earliest, and it should take between 7 to 12 days.
Okay. I know, like, is it going to be round at this point? Or you got concrete? Like, what?
We'll go away from the concrete culverts and actually go with 248 inches, and it'll be about 34 feet long to cover it and go past it, so it'll become a low bridge is what it'll end up being.
Okay.
And so we're going with the pipe highway rated and going on top of it with nothing but concrete, so it'll withstand heavy traffic now.
Okay. And I know it's pretty narrow, so
Yes.
will you make it a little bit wider, or?
I don't think so. If anything, we might go wide with concrete just so we can put actual barricades along the side, kind of like a low bridge crossing.
Okay. Okay. That was all my questions. Any other questions from the council? All right, no questions from the council. I make a motion to approve.
Second.
Neil Miko,
Yes.
Jeremy Barnett,
Yes.
Daniel Bailey,
Yes.
Joshua Wilbur,
Yes.
Donald P.
Yes.
Thank you.
Thank you, Rick.
All right, we'll move down to item number 4, Resolution 2026-09 regarding budget amendments for the Capital Improvements Fund. Approval of Resolution 2025-09, a resolution of the City Council of the City of Coweta adopting amendments to the annual appropriations for the budget of the City of Coweta, Oklahoma for fiscal year ending June 30, 2026, appropriating $74,900 in the Capital Improvements Fund from unencumbered fund balance for the reconstruction of the 111th Street Bridge between 278 East Avenue and 280 East Avenue in Coweta, Oklahoma. Julie?
Thank you, Mayor and Council. The item that Edgar just discussed was not budgeted in the FY26 budget, obviously, since it's an emergency item. So we're asking for a supplemental appropriation for the amount of $74,900 to cover the project.
Any questions from the council on this item? Okay. I make a motion to approve.
Second.
Neil Miko,
Yes.
Jeremy Barnett,
Yes.
Daniel Bailey,
Yes.
Joshua Wilbur,
Yes.
Donald P.
Yes.
We'll move down to item number 5, grant application for the INCOG Energy Efficiency and Conservation Block Grant Program. Discussing and consider action on the adoption of Resolution 2026-07, a resolution of the City Council of the City of Coweta, Oklahoma, authorizing applications for the Indian Nations Council of Governments, INCOG Energy Efficiency and Conservation Block Grant Program, and authorize the mayor to execute all necessary documents related to the grant application. Julie?
Thank you, Mayor and Council. We were notified a few weeks ago about a grant opportunity through PennCog for federal energy efficiency and conservation block grant to basically allow communities to come up with a strategic plan for energy conservation. This is not just for the city facilities, but also for the whole community. Due to the short time frame for submission, they're allowing us to submit the required authorization resolution after the fact. We have already submitted the application. That was completed a week and a half ago mostly by Jessica. So this resolution is just to give the approval for submittal and ask for your approval.
Any questions from the council on this item?
What would be required from us as a city to be part of the grant program?
Our staff would be assisting in a process to identify the areas that could help with conservation measures. Jessica could probably get some more onto that, but it's something that PennCog would also give us some guidance on, but we feel that the city staff can handle this project with no outside assistance.
Any other questions from the council?
And this is more of a community-wide grant program rather than just for city buildings, correct?
Any other questions from the council? Can I make a motion to approve?
Second.
Naomi Hope,
Yes.
Jeremy Barnett,
Yes.
Daniel Beatty,
Yes.
Joshua Wilburn,
Yes.
Donald B.
Yes.
Alrighty, we'll move down to item number 6, beer and park permit request by Coweta Youth Sports. Discuss and consider approval on the permit for beer in the park for an adult softball league of the Coweta Sports Complex. Joe?
Thank you, Mayor and Council. Last year, this Coweta City Council implemented a permit process that allows for beer in the park under certain conditions. Coweta Youth Sports was issued 2 permits last year and had no issues. They're coming back for another year asking for the same. I'm not sure if anyone here from the sports league is here, but if they would like to, if you have any questions, it looks like Mr. Brown is here. But they are requesting approval tonight for a period going through September 30th.
I don't think we've had any incidents. I know this is one we ran through you to ensure if there was any issues. There were no calls, no complaints. Just wanted to confirm that.
We had none.
Okay, just wanted to confirm that. Any questions from the council? All right.
Is this just kind of for, just to allow kind of a bring your own beer type of deal to adult leagues?
Specific guidelines, so they have certain areas behind the dugouts that they're able to bring beer. They have a security guard, they have to hire a security guard. We implemented that to check IDs to ensure there was no underage drinking and drink responsibly. Anybody can drink going out to a restaurant or whatever, but we wanted to ensure that if there were children around, that there was being responsible about it and ensuring no underage as well.
And all that stuff's going to be listed on the permit that they're going to sign for also, so they know the rules before they get into this.
You mentioned this was last year, is this renewed annually?
Yes. We gave them the trial period last year when we put this in. I think you had just came on to council at that point in time. So we gave the trial period for the first permit to see how it went and the success of it. We reissued, we as a council, we issued another approval for the second one, and this is the next year coming into play. Okay.
Yes. But, I'm assuming all the yellow spots is like where it's alcohol's allowed. Is anyone going to be at like the exterior points to make sure it doesn't leave or anything like that?
So as it's stated in the permit, they have their own security on site that's supposed to monitor that, and my guys will go out there and cruise through the parking lot. Anybody seen with alcohol outside of those yellow areas, we have the permission to shut it down immediately and stop the alcohol at that moment.
right. Any other questions from the council? I make a motion to approve.
Second.
Anthony Hope,
Yes.
Jeremy Barnett,
Yes.
Daniel Beatty,
Yes.
Joshua Wilburn,
Yes.
Paul McGee,
Yes.
All right, we'll move down to item number 7, request by Kathy Hogan to discuss a request for resignation or termination of the city manager Julie Castine.
Good evening. We're here tonight because we all want the best for Coweta. I know all the people do, you do. We want to see the projects completed, safety for our schools, the roads fixed, the water, neighborhoods, new business and growth, and more income for the city to thrive. Now, I know some might have said the data center was going to be our way to that, but from what we could see, most are saying, we're glad they're gone. That proposal had too many entanglements. They created division in the city among the people with y'all and us. It seemed like it had covered a shady foundation in the city government. Citizens were unaware and found out 2 years in the planning after non-disclosure, closed-door sessions were uncovered. Thankfully, citizens began to dig into facts. Citizens, and I for one, had sat back and thought, everything's running smooth. We don't really need to go and find all this out. What should have been told to us wasn't. And this has broken our communication, our trust, and faith in our city manager. And communication and faith and trust are important to be able to follow. Those are supposed to represent we the people. And we're still believing you all are representing us, but we've had a hard time with that. We did due diligence, a large group of people, and uncovered what was really being said. Remarks spoken, downgrading our abilities, even hoping that we would not keep showing up. All that was the catalyst that's brought us here tonight, again. All of you are in position to represent us, our council members. Y'all have listened some, and I think you're all pretty well communicating with some, and you've heard us over and over. We've all been saying, respond to our requests, restore the broken trust, and we ask you to do what you can do. We can't. We ask that you terminate our manager, Julie Castine. No more silence, hidden agendas. Stop letting intimidation keep you from doing your job. Remember, and in light of pending new investigations, at least consider an administrative leave till all this gets ironed out. What is now covered up will be uncovered. We've seen that. Every secret will be made known. True colors have been seen. People are ready to rise up. They've been rising up, getting involved, and they're ready for a change. So request termination or resignation. Thank you.
Ms. Kathy, I have one question for you. Do you live within city limits?
Yes, ma'am.
Thank you very much. I appreciate it. Thank you very much. I appreciate that. All right, we'll move down to item number 7. Request by Alan Prather to discuss nefarious actions, quotes, and coincidences regarding the failed project Atlas debacle and appropriate accountability for violations of Oklahoma law, the Open Records Act of the City of Coweta Code of Conduct, and public trust. Give me just a second to reset this, Mr. Prather.
It's been said before that Julie Castine's entire tenure as city manager has been an unmitigated disaster. Now, after we've had a chance to take a closer look at her time as city manager, it's time to face the facts and realize it's been even worse than we had initially expected. 2 months after becoming city manager, Castine's dubious judgment found it appropriate to fire a whistleblower who worked for the city. That's illegal, and now the city is facing a tort lawsuit because Julie Castine, the outcome does not look good for the city of Coweta. This is a violation of 74 OS Section 840-2.5 Oklahoma Whistleblower Act. In the same month, May of 2024, Castine signed the first non-disclosure agreement in Coweta's 122 history at the time, and did a lousy job of it as she neglected to retain a mutually signed copy of the controversial document she had just autographed. This is a violation of the Oklahoma Records Act, 51 OS subsection 24A.1-33. Months later, at least 17 months to be exact, because that's how long she had been keeping plans secret, it became apparent the person could no longer get a straight answer from our city government, at least not about the proposed data center. Information requests for inquiring about the pet project to our city manager went unanswered or provided false information. This is a violation of 51 OS subsection 24A.1-24.30. Our city manager conspired with outside corporation to keep citizens and city government ignorant of details indicating how awful her idea of data center was. This is a violation of Oklahoma State Law 21-424. When asked about the number of backup generators required, a question any electrician should be able to answer, Castine's team at Bill tried to mislead or deflect. One simply does not make plans to build a data center without knowing how many backup generators you're going to need. This is a violation of Oklahoma State Law 21-424. 3 pending lawsuits and 2 investigations. One, including the Oklahoma State Bureau of Investigation, should be indicators of the absolute crappy job our city manager has been doing. These are actionable issues. Right here, I have information requests asking for NDAs. At first I was told only one had ever been signed. I was provided with an invalid, fundamentally bogus NDA with just one signature. Then, City Council changed their mind when it was announced that more than one fundamentally bogus NDA had been signed, all of them because of the ill-conceived idea of putting a big noisy data center in our quaint little town. Bear in mind, still to this day, months later, the information request has not been honored. I have yet to receive a valid, mutually signed, non-disclosure agreement between Julie Castine and IPI. This is a violation of 51 OS subsection 24A.1-24A.30. Our city manager failed to maintain documents and failed to produce documents upon request. These are violations of Oklahoma Records Act, also known as the law. These are actionable issues. This is a violation of 51 OS subsection 24A.1-24A.30. Residents of Coweta deserve a city manager who doesn't ridicule people's health problems in an attempt to downplay the constant noise pollution that would have spewed from her pet project. Residents of Coweta deserve a city manager who doesn't get vindictively doxxed to a corporation. These are violations of the City of Coweta Employee Code of Conduct and basic rules of common sense. recently exposed fake messages and emails highlight the arrogant, condescending, narrow-minded views of Julie Castine. People of this town aren't very smart and can't accept change, she said. Completely overlooking that change would be constant noise pollution, higher power bills, congested traffic, and property values driven into the ditch. This is a violation of Coweta's Code of Conduct. In less than 2 years, Julie Castine has given cause to 3 lawsuits, 2 investigations, 1 great big epic failure, and trashed the trust thousands of Coweta residents have in our city council. There is a way to start fixing the damage Julie Castine has done to our town. It must begin with stopping her ability to cause more damage. Speaking of more damage, Julie Castine is 4 months behind on turning in the annual municipal audit. What's the delay? Is there something being hidden? Were checks being written in the hope that the data center being a golden goose? Only 2 months remain on a 6-month deadline before our city starts losing state funds over. It is time, now, for the city council to do the right thing it can, the only thing it can do, to redeem itself. Fire Julie Castine for cause. Hell, pick one. Just pick one. And send her packing to Arkansas where she'd rather be, and tell her to invite a data center to move in next door after she gets there. These are actionable issues.
Mr. Craver, I have one question for you. Do you live within city limits?
I do not, but I own several properties within city limits.
Thank you very much, sir.
Mr. Breaker, is it possible you could give me a copy of what you just cited as violations? I wasn't able to copy them all down. Can I get a copy of that?
You can watch the video. Take notes.
I'll take those down.
Do what you're paid to do.
All right, we have a couple comments. People want to speak, so I need to make a motion. Okay. All right, we have a Leland Hollis. Would you like to come forward and speak? You have 3 minutes.
I don't need 3 minutes. My name is Leland Hollis. I live here in Coweta. I've been in a handful of the zoning things and a couple of things with Julie. And what I've witnessed along with everybody else is just a whole lack of compassion and understanding of the city. She just doesn't seem to care about what's going on here. It almost leads one to think that there's some sort of underlying alternative motive to get these projects going for her. My suggestion is, and I believe this in all politics, follow the money, find the problem.
Thank you, Mr. Leland. And you live within city limits,
Yes,
right?
ma'am.
Thank you very much. All right, next up, we have a CC Cox. Would you like to come forward, please?
Hello, I'm Cece Cox, and I do live within the city limits of Coweta. And I'm just here to ask for the resignation of the city manager for nefarious actions and activities surrounding the data center, along with behavior that is not becoming of a city official or what we at the city would like our city to be represented as. Yeah, that's it. Thank you.
Great. Next up, we have a Joe Zook. Would you like to come forward? Mr. Joe? Mr. Joe, do you live within city limits?
Yes, ma'am.
Thank you very much.
City Council, thanks for allowing us to speak tonight. can't help notice you're all Team Coweta. You see that? They're Team Coweta tonight, folks.
Oh, good catch.
That's nice. I don't have a whole lot of new things to add. I knew I was following Mr. Prather, so he did a fine job of taking care of it. But the one positive thing that came out of all this Project Atlas, you have woken a sleeping citizenry. We're now... Thank you. I thank you for that.
Thank you, Joe. All right, next up we have Ms. Jackie Prather. Would you like to come forward, Ms. Jackie?
No, I don't live in the city limits either. One driveway outside. Thank you all. Coweta has an amazing new animal control officer, or two, I'm not sure. The Facebook page has been revamped. The posts are incredible, heartwarming, they catch your eye, they make you smile. They make you want to adopt a puppy, even if you don't really need one. They are that good. They are the face of Coweta when it comes to animals. They are rocking it. You can tell that they truly love the animals and believe in what they're doing. One of our longtime business owners is the face of downtown Coweta. She posts some awesome things about what's happening downtown, what the businesses are doing, what new things are coming, what improvements are being made. She's great. You can't help but smile when you read her stuff. You can tell that she loves Coweta and she wants to see it get better. Chief Bell is always quick to engage on Facebook posts. He answers questions. He helps clarify things and just generally interacts in a very positive way with the citizens of Coweta, even when he disagrees with them. See where I'm going with this? You can tell someone who wants to be where they are. You can tell someone who genuinely cares about the people they serve. You can tell who should be representing the area they are tasked with representing, because they make people smile. They make an effort to do good things. They make an effort to inspire people. They make you want to come to Coweta. They make you want to stay in Coweta. And you can tell who shouldn't be in that position. Who doesn't make people smile? Who doesn't view the citizens in a positive light, especially when she disagrees with them? I understand 100% that the city council needs actionable items. I get that. But the city council also needs to look at the big picture. How does Coweta look to someone from the outside? Do we make them smile? Do we make them want to come here because we're a good place to raise a family? Do we make them want to stay? Please do the right thing for the citizens of Coweta, for the people who might want to be citizens of Coweta, and for those of us who just want to know that everyone here is working towards the same goal, making this a place where you can smile and know that you live in the best little town there is. Sounds cheesy, but for those of us who fought so hard for the last 6 months, this is just as important. We want a town where you come to stay, where you raise your family, and where you can retire, not a stepping stone to a quiet little town in Arkansas. We aren't going away, we're here to stay, and we'll remind you of that every chance we get. Thank you.
Thank you, Jackie. All right, we'll move down to item number 9, request by Jimmy Rothrock to address the council regarding text message communications of city officials. Jimmy, quick question for you. Do you live within city limits?
No, ma'am. I live about a mile south, but I do most all of our shopping for our family of 7 in Coweta.
Thank you very much.
So I've been in Coweta for roughly 11 years. My family has. So I saw a text message that came out, and it said, "Just finished." It actually went pretty well. I asked if they would be willing to sell their property to Beal, and they seemed like that idea if the price was right. We still talked about their concern and asked what they would want in the PUD overall. They were respectful and only discussed facts. That was a text message sent by Julie to you, Naomi. And so I've got a question. Is Julie Castine a real estate broker? Does she have a real estate license? Because that sounds like a real estate brokering deal. I'll read this. This is the duties of the city manager. Appoint, when necessary for the good of service, remove, remote, lay off, or suspend all heads of administrative departments and other administrative officers and employees of the city, except as otherwise provided by law. Supervise and control all administrative departments, officers, and agencies. Prepare a budget annually and submit to the city council, and be responsible for the administration of the budget after it goes into effect. Submit to the city council a report after the end of the fiscal year on the finances and administrative activities of the city for the preceding year. Keep the city council advised of the financial condition and future needs of the city, and perform such other duties as may be prescribed by law or ordinance. I didn't see anything in there about being a real estate broker for a company that was potentially wanting to move here. So, to that, Naomi, I have a question. That seems like that's potentially illegal. One, because she doesn't have a real estate license that we know of. Two, that would classify technically as acting as a double agent. And it tells us in the Bible, we can't serve two masters. We can only serve one, for we'll love one and hate the other. So negotiating real estate sales on behalf of someone else is potentially illegal. I would assume that it is, and can result in criminal penalties if I had to guess. At minimum, the mayor, you knew about this. That is shocking that you knew about this. So that means you're complicit in this activity. So if we look at the mayor's responsibilities, elected by the city council, acts as the official head of the city for all ceremonial purposes, chairs council meetings, calls for special meetings, recognizes spokesperson for the city, selects substitute for city representation when the mayor cannot attend, makes judgment calls on proclamations, recommends subcommittees as appropriate for council approval, leads the council into an effective, cohesive team, and signs documents on behalf of the city. Do those documents supposed to include NDAs? And while we're on that, I don't see anywhere in there it says help the city manager broker real estate deals. Anyway. So, as just a council member, which you are, you're to serve as a model of leadership and civility to the community. I don't think that classifies as that. Inspire public confidence in our government. I don't think that's possible when you're signing NDAs and when you're trying to help broker real estate deals. Demonstrate honesty and integrity in every action and statement. Well, honesty and integrity don't seem to play a part here, because how is it integrity to hide a real estate deal like that? Especially when you're sitting up here and the developer is saying, we are not looking at adding any more real estate to this deal. This is a one and done, and we're not looking to expand the scope of this project. However, you sat in the same room as I did and listened to the developer say that, all while knowing that Julie is trying to broker real estate deals to add to this project on the side. How does that fall under integrity? Other members of the council were aware of negotiations between Beal Infrastructure and the surrounding landowners to acquire not only their real estate property, but also their mineral rights as well. However, I don't believe they were aware that it was Julie, with the help of Naomi, trying to broker those deals. So how should the council's code of conduct go? Well, it says right here, avoid personal comments that could offend other council members. Well, I have seen text messages that were disparaging of other council members between you and Julie. Continue respectful behavior in private. Well, texts are also, they would fall under that, especially when it pertains to official business. The same level of respect and consideration of differing points of view that is deemed appropriate for public discussions should be maintained in private conversations. That includes text messages. Be aware of the insecurity of written notes, voicemail, and email, and text messages. What would happen if this communication was forwarded to others? Written notes, voicemail messages, emails, text messages should be treated as potentially public communication. Even private conversations can have a public presence, as we have seen as of late. In unofficial settings, make no personal comments about other council members. It is acceptable to publicly disagree about an issue, but it is unacceptable to make derogatory comments about other council members, their opinions, and actions. We have seen otherwise in your text messages. Choose words carefully and cautiously. Comments taken out of context can cause problems. Be especially cautious about humor. Oh, joking about a data center being a farm. Humor, sarcasm, and wordplay have no place in city government. It is never appropriate to use slurs, swear words when talking, or sarcasm. It's not funny to the people in this community. Principles of proper conduct. Keeping promises. Being dependable. Being of a solid reputation. Participating and being available. Well, you know, I've engaged with most of you guys up there. You know who doesn't engage back is Naomi. She's not engaged back with anyone in this community that I have spoken with. Demonstrating patience, showing empathy. I've seen a severe lack of empathy on Naomi and Julie's part. Holding on to ethical principles under stress. Well, that went out the window with trying to broker real estate deals, I think. Keeping integrity intact. There's another one. Modeling a professional manner. Deliberately lying or misleading. Covering up the fact that you signed an NDA. Acting in a self-righteous manner. Signing an NDA. So it brings me down to the checklist for monitoring conduct. This is what the city code says. These are the questions you should ask. Will my decision or action violate the trust, rights, or goodwill of others? Already has. What are my ulterior motives and the spirit behind my actions? Wow, that's a good question that I don't think anybody can answer but you. If I have to justify my conduct in public tomorrow, will I do it with pride or shame? How would my conduct be evaluated by people whose integrity and character I respect? Even if my conduct is not illegal or unethical, is it done at someone else's expense? And I would say it was done at the community's expense, obviously. Will it destroy their trust in me? Is my conduct fair, just, or morally right? If I were on the receiving end of my conduct, would I approve and agree, or would I take offense? Does my conduct give others reason to trust or distrust me? Am I willing to make my ethical beliefs public in a way that makes it clear what I stand for or who I represent? Will my conduct cause public embarrassment to someone else? Well, I can only ask for you guys personally, but I know it's caused a lot of embarrassment for our community, which is sad. So there's a whole guideline for sanctions in this body. And I could get into that, but I think I'll skip that. This is a direct, pardon?
Your time is up, sir.
I didn't hear the dinger go off.
She's only checked it.
Okay. I'll wrap it up. So, this is a direct conflict of interest. And in the city code, it says that a direct or indirect or even the appearance of a conflict of interest, and you should step down, resign, or you should abstain yourself from the situation. And I'm asking on Julie Castine and Naomi Ho, both of you, to resign immediately or terminate Julie Castine, but Naomi, I think you should resign. You can compromise.
We'll move to item number 10, request by Darren Blanchard to address the council regarding text message communications of city officials. Mr. Blanchard?
Can I have a volunteer to sit at that laptop and hit the arrow when I say slide? What do you think? Somebody just to sit at that chair and hit the arrow. Go ahead and hit view slideshow. When I say slide, you hit the arrow.
Can I sit this here?
Yeah.
Would you like to hold it up?
I have a multimedia presentation. So can we go to view slideshow?
Would you like me to hold it up?
Or just hit slideshow?
Would you like me to hold it up?
I'll get in there in a second.
Sure.
And make sure it doesn't fall on.
Mr. Blanchard, one question?
Yeah.
Within the city limits.
Need just the microphone. I do not. I am a resident of the state of Oklahoma, however. You ready to start my timer, Mayor?
Yep.
Okay, I am ready. Mayor, Vice Mayor, and Council, thank you for the time to speak. Not just for tonight, but for the prior occasions as well. I hope you have received my words with sincerity. I back everything up with fact and solid reasoning. My message is one that resonates with the public because it's simple, plain, and easy to see, and most importantly, embedded in the truth. And that's why I'm back here tonight, to offer further spotlight on the truth. I do not come here to be a rabble-rouser or to make a scene. I come here to offer you free advice. I come here to be a voice for the unheard, these people behind me. When I first came to you on November 3rd, I was called a liar by your city manager. You're a liar, quote, end quote. Everybody heard it, there's no denying that. This never sat well with me, so I sought the truth with Project Atlas. I filed a records request on January 8th, it's on the screen, seeking communications with Bill Infrastructure. It was looking for keywords like data center and Atlas. To be clear, I only received a sampling of communications, those emails and text messages. I think by now we all know that revealed something I speak on, the truth. It's called transparency. It's what this community had been asking for, and now they got it. Slide. And just to tell the story of how we got here today, I came to y'all on February 2nd on the agenda saying that my record request had not been fulfilled, and it was fast approaching 30 days since the request. I did receive some of the emails shortly after that, but on February 11th, I was asked to narrow down the text messages to select personnel from the city. So I gave half a dozen job titles. That included your city manager and the attorney. Over the next 30 days, I got everybody's text except for your city manager. On March 13th, time was up. 65 days is ample time to gather those records. So I filed a complaint with the Attorney General. I told y'all back in February I know how to get this in the hands of law enforcement, and I did just that. Slide. On March 22nd, that's a Sunday, mind you, I received the Julie Castine text messages. And from the content of those text messages, I think we see why it took a complaint to law enforcement to obtain public records created by your city manager. Slide. It's communications like this that she didn't want out, where she's calling your people stupid. This is a text to a member of the council where she says, quote unquote, A lot of the people protesting are just not very smart and can't accept change. My response to that is, this text wasn't very smart, and I assure you, there is change coming. It's just a matter if you're willing to accept it, Ms. Castine. The irony here is rich. Slide. The next one, and it's the worst, a fireable offense in my book, especially when you look back on the public apology, an apology that was likely created by AI. I say that because in that apology, David Seals was never mentioned. This is a man who at the time was in need of a double lung transplant, and any altruistic phrasing would address the people offended. This is a complete failure. His oxygen machine was louder than the data center. Who says that? I stand by my words to the media that Ms. Castine lacks the wherewithal to be a decent human being. There's no recovery from that. That's the public's trust cannot be restored without her departure. I decided to make this into a multimedia presentation, lest we forget about this beauty. Thank you, Data Center Daddy. I'd really like to know who the Data Center Daddy is around here. Hold that. Is it Commissioner Tim Kelly? I mean, that's his cousin with the 235 acres, the hopping land. His other cousin has land in Council Hill, east where they're installing a nearly 5,000 acre solar power plant with the Google data center there. Sound familiar? No corruption there, am I right? Seriously. Though this was just two girls having fun with a text exchange between your city manager and Jessica Zwerts, your community development director. Slide. Moving on, this next text is notable, as I gave a presentation on December 1st about the externalities related to Project Atlas, talking about how the data centers will lead to incompatible land uses by these multi-thousand acre solar power plants and result in eminent domain via the transmission lines. This communication is dated December 4th, just a few days after the presentation, and is between Ms. Castine and Lauren Harvey of Bill Infrastructure. You can tell they're playing text tag, and there is something that they wish to talk about but do not want to put it in writing. It requires a phone call, and that's probably telling. I don't know exactly what was said, but it's assumed my name came up in conversation. You can see Ms. Castine tells Ms. Harvey that she's not available for a call until after 1:30. And what I find interesting is that Ms. Harvey receives a link to my presentation at around 8 p.m. Fascinating, because I was told by the city that they couldn't click on links and didn't have the technology for slideshows. I had to bring my own equipment, but somehow the city manager can figure out how to get that slideshow on her phone and send it to Ms. Harvey via text message. Worth asking, why is the city difficult with someone that is merely trying to exercise their First Amendment rights to educate you, the council, and to help your fellow people, but all the while can somehow bend over backwards for the developer out of San Francisco? Now, slide. Let's take a slight pivot and review a couple of texts from your city attorney, Patrick Bolden. This first one is about the same presentation in December. It is from Mr. David Weatherford, sent on December 2nd. Mr. Weatherford is a former attorney here and is currently at Sand Springs. I'm sure you heard, but they have a proposed data center there too. Your attorney's response is not anything significant, as it's his opinion, but he says I wasn't persuasive in my presentation. No hard feelings, as I think we can all agree it's a difficult topic to present in 15 minutes. That's why I sent you pre and post communications. Again, his opinion, but all I know are two things. One, I get invited to speak at a lot of different venues from here to Montana. And two, Bill has left town, running off like a scalded dog without even giving an explanation as to why. I must be persuading somebody. Slide. Now this text gives me caution, and it should you too, as a council. This is from Alex Weintz, who works for a public affairs firm called Amber Integrated. They do a lot of lobbyist work, political consulting, survey research, media strategy, etc. My concern here is Mr. Weintz. He says he was working with a coalition of business interests who support projects like Project Atlas and wants to see them succeed. He goes on by saying he was hoping you, Patrick, might have a few minutes to trade notes. Mr. Bolden replies, sure, just call when you're ready. I don't know the exchange of the call, but I'm not sure if this is the attorney's role to even take this call. It seems like to me, Amber Integrated should have been directed to City Hall's main number, but the timing is interesting too, January 8th. I would be curious to know if the phony emails the council started to receive was just a little while after this date. What about the surveys by phone the locals received? Bet you the timelines match up. I wonder if there's a connection to Amber Integrated and the phony buildok.org website. It's probably worth exploring, as this could be the source of your fraudulent emails. I want to close by touching on a word that I brought up earlier, irony. The irony of this entire situation is rich. Think about it. My first appearance here in November, I am branded a liar. An attempt to create a bias on my name, my character, my message. I was publicly defamed. Fast forward 5 months later, and I'm exposing the truth. My message is one bound by fact and embedded in the truth. And that's been on clear display. Ms. Castine, I will repeat, you publicly defamed me, and now you have been publicly shamed. The irony is rich, is it not? Here's more irony. An article from the Tulsa World dated March 15th with the city managers from Sand Springs, Claremore, and Coweta talking about how people just don't understand the process, the economics, the NDAs, how local government works. Well, sorry to pick on you, Ms. Castine, but I do understand how this works. You never conducted an independent economic impact study. The NDAs signed by your mayor and vice mayor are illegal. Law enforcement's opinion, not mine. And I used your local government to reveal your true character by showing your text messages to the media 1 week after that article. Again, the irony is rich. Ms. Castine, you were quoted in that article as saying Facebook warriors are demanding astute observation. Ms. Castine, they're now demanding your resignation. Never in my wild imagination would I foresee standing up to defend my land against a transmission line, helping perfect strangers in Porter defend their land against a 5,000-acre solar power plant, would have me here today. But here we are. In respect to my legal situation, I can't say too much, but the wheels of justice are in motion. The legal precedent that'll be set by Blanchard v. Claremore will send reverberations across the nation. It's about upholding our freedom of speech, restoring the First Amendment. I was arrested and jailed because of my viewpoint. I was targeted because of my message. Not because I'm somebody with a violent history, but because I deliver effective talking points. Think about that. That's where we are with these proposals. This is quite literally a collective effort to silence me and others. Because of that incident, my options are now limitless. And I have no idea where this trajectory takes me. I got 10 seconds. You, Ms. Castine, however, you've got one move. And at this point, it's painstakingly obvious. Resign. If you're truly apologetic, do what's in the best interest of this community. Step down from your position. Allow this community to move on without you. They have and they are. The only question is, will you let them?
We'll move down to item number 10. We have no additional items, so this meeting is adjourned.
Can I be permitted to speak for 3 minutes? I didn't sign in, I didn't do anything like I was supposed to, but I'd like to say something for 3 minutes. Can you give me that?
Since I adjourned it. Is it related to an agenda item?
Yeah, it is.
Okay.
Agenda item.
Pardon?
Agenda item.
Which agenda item?
The one we're talking, just got through talking about.
Mr. Blanchard's.
Yep.
Even though I adjourned it?
Prematurely adjourned.
We didn't all.
Nobody voted to adjourn.
Nobody seconded
Nobody
it.
adjourned. Feel free to say your time. What is your name?
David Steele.
Okay.
My family's been a resident in Coweta since back in the 30s. I lived here when I was 5 years old in 1958. I've been a permanent resident of Coweta since 1975. So I've been here for a while. I'm the old guy whose oxygen machine is louder than the doors at the data center, which I can bring the oxygen machine up here and show you that that's not true. However, that's not the point that I'm trying to make. Julie Chastain made some comments. I'm sure that she intended for them to be confidential. It's irrelevant to me one way or the other because what her opinion is doesn't matter to me one way or the other. What does matter to me is the people on the city council were aware of some of the comments that she made, and they didn't do one thing to censor her or to say that this is not something that we need to be speaking about. I have a real issue with that. Another thing I'd like to point out, the attorney is real interested in what Mr. Prather has got for legality. I wonder how much he's done on this situation here. How much have you checked into your own business? As far as me being unintelligent, that's true. I'm a high school dropout. But I'll challenge anybody here to an IQ test. And let's see who's the dumbest. Because there's no way in God's name that anybody would make comments about the old dude and somebody that was ready for a lung transplant. The reason why I haven't been here any earlier is because December the 1st I was admitted to the hospital in Integrasville, Oklahoma City. I received a double lung transplant on the 23rd and the 24th. And this is really about my only public appearance since then. I cannot have any germs or any infection or anything else or it'll kill me. So I haven't really been out running around town and going to all of the meetings. But I'd like for everybody on the city council to sit down and think. Don't make a scapegoat out of Julie Chastain because you're all just as guilty as she is.
How about a motion to have a special session?
Alrighty, we'll move down to item number 10. This meeting is adjourned. We will move on to the Coweta Public Works special meeting. Roll call.
Naomi Hope.
Here.
Jeremy Barnett.
Here.
Daniel Beatty.
Here.
Joshua Wilbur.
Here.
Donald Heath.
Here.
We'll move down to item number 3, consent items. Make a motion to approve.
Naomi Hope.
Yes.
Jeremy Barnett.
Yes.
Daniel Beatty.
Yes.
Joshua Wilbur.
Yes.
Donald Heath.
Yes.
Item number 4, we have no items to be removed from consent. We'll move down to item number 5, administration. Demolition of old water treatment plant building for $23,660, budgeted in the PWA Water Department account 04-5325-03.033. Discuss and consider action approval on the demolition of an old water treatment plant building by 5-star demolition for the cost of $23,660, budgeted in account 04-5325.033. Edgar?
Hello, council. Once again, this is a item that was on the budget for this year. Luckily, we came in about 0.5% from the original budget. We were budgeted for about $50,000. We came in at 23, which is awesome. This demolition is already pretty much gone on its own. It's now a safety hazard, so we gotta take it down. On the good note is that this company that's coming in will rehab all the concrete and they'll kind of mulch it up to create some sort of riprap. Those can be utilized across the drainage, and so we'll kind of use it as a kind of pretty much a little asset to us. So, and that's all we're asking for, just to proceed and get this done.
Any questions from the council?
Any fear of pollution or?
No, we did kind of run it by several different people that would kind of, our most concern was whether the insulation was asbestos and all that. They tested and we're good. So we'll take all of our measures to pond where our water plant, it's the reservoir pond, it's pretty back, so we'll be okay right now.
Do you have a time frame in your slated to, if this is approved, when it would potentially start?
They're ready to start pending weather is what we were told, because they don't have much projects that are able to be done within rain. So if it rains, they can come and do it, and that's probably the best time to do it because of the dust particles as Joshua was kind of asking about.
Okay.
So that's kind of what we foresee is take advantage of the rain so we can reduce any sort of pollution that can occur.
Any other questions from the council?
No other environmental
All right, I make a motion to approve.
Second.
Naomi Hope,
Yes.
Jeremy Barnett,
Yes.
Daniel Beatty,
Yes.
Joshua Wilburn,
Yes.
Donald Feeth.
Yes.
Thank you.
We'll move down to item number two, approval of authorized representative certificate designated chairman Naomi Hope, trust manager Julie Castile, and assistant trust manager McKay Hale to manage the trust funds and authorize payments for approved purchases from trust funds held by BOK Financial. Julie.
Thank you, Madam Chairman. BOK Financial has several, they're the trustee for several of our investment accounts that are used to either service debt or hold funds for escrow or construction projects, for instance, the wastewater plant project, as well as the 1% sales tax fund. They control those investments, and then as funds need to be spent on the projects or get service, we send a requisition to them and they approve it and make the payment. We discovered recently that Roger Coleman is still on the account, and there's no one else on there besides myself. So we need to we're recommending to add Naomi, renew myself, and then also add McKay Hale, the assistant trust manager, to allow any requisitions to be processed.
Any questions from the council on this item?
Can we do a double check of all the funds and accounts?
We just did that.
To verify. Okay.
We did just update all the other entities.
Any other questions? Make a motion to approve.
Second.
Naomi Hope,
Yes.
Jeremy Barnett,
Yes.
Daniel Beatty,
Yes.
Joshua Wilburn,
Yes.
Donald Feeth.
Yes.
Alrighty, we'll move down to item number 6. We do not have any additional items. This meeting is adjourned. Thank you all for attending tonight.